Hello everybody and welcome to the stream. As always, my name is Shogun Shin and I am joined by my co-host Hex and I, because it is another episode of the C+ Podcast. Today, this is episode... Crap, I had it written down. Episode 13.
We're at like 12. Oh,
yeah,
cool, I was close.
We're at episode 13 of the C+ Podcast.
That was a random guess.
And Hex, the first thing that I want to do today is I'm gonna have you take a quiz.
This
Very similar to the quiz that we took, that you had me take 2 weeks ago. This is, I had to actually pull it up. I think it's this. It's like, oh, here it is. Here, I'll send you the link. It's called the Rice Purity Test.
Rice Purity Test.
Yes, it is called the Rice Purity Test. You go to this website, all right? This is the official Rice Purity Test, all right? And all it is a very simple quiz. All you're going to do is you're going to check the box for everything that you have done.
Okay.
All right? I'll take this right alongside with you. All right? Ever held hands romantically, been on a date, been
hold
in a
on.
relationship.
I'm zooming in so that...
All right. Yeah, so you zoom in, and yeah, it's a very simple test. All you have to do is just check the box of everything that you have done.
Okay.
All right.
This is not a bucket list. Completion of all items of this test will likely result in death. Click on every item you have done. MPS stands for member of the preferred sex. I don't know what that means.
What, member of the preferred sex?
Yeah.
Like, if a question asks you, like, you have received a blowjob from MPS.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's just not a term I've heard before.
Yeah, it's just that way they don't have to keep asking. You've received a blowjob. You have received some sort of act from boy/girl or whatever. It's very gender inclusive.
I'm the first like 10, and I'm already like, yep. All right.
French
held hands
French
romantically. Yes.
Kiss
been on a
neck,
date. Yes.
horizontally.
Been in a relationship. Yes.
Wait, kissed horizontally. Yes, I have kissed horizontally. I was like, have I done that? Yes.
Dance without leaving room for Jesus. Yes.
Fucking heathen.
Kissed a non-family. Yes.
Given or received a hickey.
Yes.
No, but I've come
French
close
kissed.
to
Yes. French kissed in public. Yes.
No.
Kissed on the neck. Yeah. Kissed. What's horizontally?
Laying
laying
down.
Okay.
I had to think about it too. I
like,
also had to think about it. It's fine.
Kissed or been kissed on the breast. Kiss somebody below the belt. Oh yeah, definitely given and received hickeys. Okay. Kiss someone below the belt. Kiss for more than 2 hours consecutively.
Yes.
That, like, at one time?
Have I played a game that has involved stripping?
I don't...
I think I have. Yeah, I think I did.
Played a game that involves stripping. Yeah, and it only got down to shirts.
Yeah.
That was it. It was pretty lame. But technically, it did.
Yeah, same.
I just, like...
Being seen by another person in a sexual context.
I've made out for a long time, but I don't know if it was 2 hours.
That's a weird flex.
Well, like...
I
that's
get
what
it.
I'm thinking. Is it, like, consecutively? Like, total, it's a lot more than 2 hours.
Could you imagine just somebody, like they just making out, and then they stop, and you just hear, like, a stopwatch, like, click, like, all right, that's my new personal best. Very good, like, good stuff. Good job.
I mean, I've boned for more than 2 hours consecutively. But kissing was not the 100% part of that.
Let's assume it's just strictly makeout session.
Okay,
strictly
then 2 hours. Like
2 hours.
You get chapped lips at that point. That's
that
enough.
Is true.
All right, I'm way too hung up on that anyway.
Yeah.
Seen or been seen by another person in a yes. Masturbate yes.
Yep.
To a picture or video yes. While someone else was in the room.
No, I haven't. I make it kind of a point to not do that because that's kind of weird, in my opinion.
Yes, actually, there was a reason. Like, there was a reason. Been caught masturbating.
Yes.
No.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Really? You've never been caught?
No.
Wow.
I'm pretty, I make sure everywhere is safe.
Like, all bases are covered.
I can't say that my parents didn't know, but I was never, caught.
They never, you never had someone, walk in on you.
Yeah. With an inanimate object.
Yes.
Yeah?
Why is that a question?
I'm just, Why
is your answer a question?
It's yes, but, I wasn't, well... Yeah, okay, yeah. No. I had to think about it. I was I had the computer on my lap. Does that count?
That doesn't count.
Yeah, okay, but still, yes. Okay,
you use something else to physically assist.
Seen or read pornographic material. Yes. Massage or been massaged. Yes.
No.
All the time. Gone through the motions of intercourse while fully dressed.
Yes.
Really? That's rough. I'm sorry. Well, I'm in the context of that it got that far and no further. That sucks.
I mean, yeah. It was fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say yeah. Undressed or been undressed, yes.
No.
Shout yes. Yes. This morning. Fondled or had your butt cheeks fondled.
I'm gonna just say no to all three of these.
Yes. Fondled or had your breasts fondled. Yes.
Yeah.
Both ways. Fondled or had your genitals fondled. Yes. Had or given bloop. Yes.
Yes.
Had an orgasm due to someone else's manipulation. I don't like that. I would prefer stimulation.
Yeah, stimulation would be better.
Manipulation sounds like it's a torture
abusive.
thing.
Yeah, it sounds abusive.
Yeah, sent a sexually explicit text or instant message. Yeah, that's 90% of my high school. Sent or received sexually explicit photographs. Both.
No, but I have thought about it.
Huh? Yeah. Engaged in sexually explicit activity over video chat.
No.
Yes. I had a long distance relationship.
There was one time when I was doing online dating. Oh man,
she was in college.
There was one time someone I had a scam account message me, and they were very adamant that they wanted to video call me. It was a little worrisome.
I don't know if I should. We're gonna skip that one. Purchased contraceptives.
Nope. Well,
yes.
That's the other one.
I have fun fact about 36 is I have purchased contraceptives, or no, I have been with people who have purchased contraceptives. I had to drive one of my roommates and his girlfriend to Walmart, and I stood there while they were talking about what condoms to buy.
Nice. Yeah. 35. Well, I'm checking off 35. I'm just not reading it out loud.
Okay.
Gave oral sex. Yes.
Nope.
38. Received oral sex.
Nope.
Ingested someone else. I mean, how do you give oral sex and not ingest someone's genital secretion?
You're just really fast when they're about to climax.
Well, I mean,
you just got really good reaction times.
At least with women in general, they don't need to have finished to.
This is true.
Have genital secretion. And guys, it's the same way, but
it's just less noticeable.
Yeah. Used a sex toy with a partner. Yeah. Spent the night.
I like how you say yeah like you're bored of it. Yeah. I guess.
Spent the night with a member of the preferred. See, how do you get this far and not spend the night with them?
No, I haven't. You're all.
Been walked in on while engaging in a sexual act. No. They were just already in the room.
You can't walk in if they're already there. Ha-ha.
Yeah.
Brain tactics.
Well, yeah, he didn't. And I was gonna be he walked out and then, or walked in to maybe be. No, he was playing video games the whole time. Huh?
He never
He never left, and he found out because I told him, because it was funny. Kicked a roommate out to commit a sexual act.
No,
Yes.
I have
alcohol
been kicked
in a
out.
non-religious context.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not religious, and I drank.
Wow, fucking heathen.
Played
You
a drinking
sinner.
game. Yes. Been
Yes.
drunk. Yes. Faked
Yep.
sobriety to parents or teachers.
No,
No.
I have not done that.
Never fake.
I
I've
was
never
never
needed to do
drunk.
that.
I was never drunk.
Holly.
Until I was 18. But I was nowhere near my parents, so I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't smoke weed, okay, I smoked weed, but I didn't get high the first time that I smoked weed. And then I didn't smoke weed and get high until I was 20. So,
favorites
and
is-
it's legal here now, so.
One of my favorites.
I just never had a need or a use for it. Because I always kind of hated how marijuana smelled, and I'm like, yeah, this is gross.
Oh, yeah.
Why would I do that?
I grew up around it. Well, one, because I live in a city that's known for it, and two, my dad has glaucoma, and he really likes weed. Even if he didn't have glaucoma, he'd still be smoking a lot of weed. He grows it in his backyard, and he tells me about it all the time. Had severe memory loss due to alcohol.
I haven't.
Due to alcohol.
No, not due to alcohol. Well, I mean, I kind of blacked out that night. No, that wasn't alcohol. Yeah, no, not alcohol. Used tobacco.
Nope.
Do cloves count as tobacco?
Cloves? What the hell are cloves?
They're like flavored cigarettes, but they don't have
Yes.
nicotine in them. Okay.
Yeah, I would yes.
Use marijuana.
I would
Yeah.
consider that as tobacco.
Use a drug stronger than marijuana.
Yes.
Not.
No.
I used one pill.
Would you
Use-
would you consider Mucinex stronger than marijuana?
No.
Because I have OD'd on that before.
Okay, well, okay, okay, maybe. It doesn't ask about dosage.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
We're talking-
technically,
dosage
stacked
is
together, I think I've used it stronger than that. But there's a very negative
see, here's the thing:
experience.
is like you haven't been high on marijuana,
This is true.
so to like, I think it's kind of to be like, hey, have you had something that was equivalent to your time being high?
Yeah.
That's how I interpret it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got, what was it, hydrocodone
Oh.
when my wisdom teeth got removed.
Oh.
And I only took 2 of them.
Nice.
Yeah, so I took one because I wasn't in pain, like it was a dull pain, and I was like, maybe my brain's just not telling me that I'm in pain, and I should just take one.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh hey, that's whatever. I don't feel anything, and I was like, I'm in a really good mood. And then after my teeth were healed, I still had all of this hydrocodone.
Yeah.
And I took one because I was like, fuck it, I'm bored, I'll be high really quick. So I was playing League,
Oh,
I got high,
Oh god.
and I played A-Rams, and I was Ramus, and I just went spinning in circles, and I was literally going, wee! And then my hydrocodone disappeared, and I'm pretty sure my dad took it.
Rip. Yeah. No, I had a similar experience as well when I got my wisdom teeth pulled. In which I had to go back to school when I got my wisdom teeth pulled, and I remember I was in Glee Club one day, and I remember telling my director, I was like, hey, I got my wisdom teeth taken out, I'm not gonna sing, also I'm taking painkillers, so I'm just kind of gonna veg out in my seat, if that's cool. He's like, totally fine, completely understand. And I remember, like, we were doing like some exercise where we would get up out of the, like, stand around the room in a circle, and we would sing. And I remember just sitting in that circle, and I was like, I remember seeing sounds. Like, I was God.
Whoa.
Like, I remember just, like, sitting back and just being like, oh, shit.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
because at first I was like, I knew, like, the drugs were kicking in, but then, like, they started singing, and I was like, oh, they've definitely kicked in now. And I remember just sitting there with, like, this shit-eating grin on my face. Completely doped out of my brain. So I guess I'll
I
say
mean,
use
I
a
will
drug
say
shop in
being
marijuana,
high
I would say.
is fun. It's just not good for you.
We did that
It's
one.
just and a lot of things that are fun and not good for you though. You can say that about a lot of things.
We did all 3 of those together. Used methamphetamine, crack cocaine, PCP, horse tranquilizer, heroin. I've been in a room with people who did 2 of those things.
Nice.
I have not. I have a friend that's done all of those things.
Jesus.
And he's only like 3 years older than me.
God.
Uh,
I remember
he's a good guy.
I
I
remember
miss him.
in high school there was like a huge outbreak for a new type of drug that had just come out like on the black market or whatever. And I think it was called like
MDMA?
crocodile. No, it was like crocodile. I don't know, it might be called MDMA.
Crocodile, okay.
It was called crocodile, but it was like it. From what I remember from someone telling me about it, it had like it was like 2 times the high was like 2 times stronger than like meth.
Oh, then
or heroin maybe, but it lasted like half as long.
Yeah, I think I heard
And
about
then-
some drug that was
Yeah,
like
and
twice
then like
as strong
the
as
side
heroin.
effect of it was it literally ate your flesh.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing about it. I didn't know that was its name.
It was made of like gasoline and paint thinners, like all combined
Yeah,
into
it's
one.
super bad for you.
Yeah, it was a problem. But apparently that was like I remember that being like the new hotness in the druggy community, like back in like 2012, 2013.
Was that like a nationwide thing, or was that like in Ohio?
I think it was
Thing.
I think it was a nationwide thing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that was a thing around here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're known for
Maybe-
our meth over here,
We're
so
known
we're
for
already
our
covered.
Yeah, maybe it was just a Midwest thing. I think maybe it was just a
Maybe.
Midwest thing.
I mean, you guys get really fucking bored. I'm not
That's
surprised.
that's true. I remember asking my English teacher in high school, my senior year English teacher. I remember asking him why he smoked, and his answer literally was, "Well, I grew up on a farm, and the only options there to pass the time are smoke or do crack. So
Smoke or do crack.
yeah, it's like so I chose the lesser evil."
Yeah. I was like, why is it just a question mark? And I was like, oh.
Clever.
All right. Been sent to the office of a principal, dean, or judicial affairs representative for disciplinary infraction. No. Been put on disciplinary probation or suspended.
No.
I mean, I'm not allowed to apply to my community college until 2099. But I don't consider that the same thing. That was just because I failed a bunch of classes. But, like, it's not disciplinary. It's not the same thing.
That's kind of disciplinary.
All right, well, we'll say yes then. Urinated in public. Yeah, like
as
a
far
lot.
as judicial affairs representative, I guess what would that count as? Would that count as like actual court?
Yeah,
And
that's what I yeah.
I mean, I've gone
But
to like minor
for
court.
something that you did, not like just been to court.
Yeah, I'll say sure. I've took that
What the
one.
fuck did you do?
I got into a traffic accident,
Oh, okay.
and I
Yeah,
also got
okay.
caught speeding.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never done any of those
Yeah,
things.
my
Hell, I'm driving and my license is expired. It expired 7 days ago.
Jesus Christ,
Oh, wait.
Our DMV is closed.
God damn it! Can't you mail it?
Order them online.
Can't you order them online?
Order it.
No, actually, I looked at it. Well, I can
Did you
order
straight out
it,
do that?
but you can't do it online right now. Our DMV is really bad. Oregon DMV is super bad. Yeah,
Would you
because Kieran
count?
just
Would you
did it
count
online.
getting my driver's license suspended as
Yes.
disciplinary? Okay, then we'll
Yeah,
say yes.
I
to
would
that
definitely,
then.
yeah.
All right, we'll say that yes.
Gone skinny dipping. No.
I
Gone
have
streaking.
urinated in public.
No. Yeah,
I have
I've
not-
urinated in public all the time. I do it like
I don't
10
think you should
times
be
a year.
admitting some of these things that explicitly.
It's like
I
who hasn't? Especially guys who
I mean, yeah, I guess-
who are really drunk. It's
Yeah.
way easier for us.
That's true.
I'm just saying. Like
true.
you just go up against the wall and you pee. It's
Are you ever a guy that's
Gone skinny dipping,
Or
gone
if you-
streaking. I've never done those.
Sometimes.
Have I seen a stripper?
okay. Have I seen a stripper naked? No. Have I seen a stripper? Yes. They were
Technically, I have
not. They
too.
were not specific. I have seen lots of strippers.
Let's say.
Some of them are friends that I used to have in high
Let's
school.
assume
Technically,
you've
I
seen
have
them
too. They're
naked.
all over the-
Assume the question is you've seen a stripper naked.
Yes, I've seen a stripper.
It doesn't say all it says is seen a stripper.
Well, let's again assume
I'm
that
drawing a line in the sand here.
and I'm moving and I'm
Seen a
erasing your line and I'm saying and I'm making a new line of assume that it's asking if you've seen a stripper naked on the job.
I mean, I've seen strippers in movies naked.
That doesn't count.
It's okay.
Movies
fine.
and film don't count.
I will unclick that one. Had the police called on you? Had the police called as a result of me, but not on me. Run from the police.
Oh.
I have not run from the
You
police
count like
before.
that.
I ran. No. I ran away, and then the police got called.
I ran away and then
Had the police question
Yes.
you?
yes.
I have.
Yes.
I've
Had
had
the police
the police
handcuff
question
you?
me.
No. Been erected? Erected?
Been erected.
Yes.
This morning. Been arrested? No. Been convicted of a crime? No. Been
I like how
convicted
you
of a felony?
hesitated. You're like,
No. Well, okay.
no.
So there's a reason. Apparently,
yet.
there was a warrant out for my arrest in a county that I've never been to. When I was going, I was starting my entrance into the Navy, and then I was like, nah. And they were, because they had to do a background check, and they're like, do you know that you have a warrant out for your arrest? And I'm like, no. Have you ever been to Clark County? Or no, it was some weird. It was Clark County. It was way before I met you, and I was like, no. They're like, oh, okay, never mind then. I was like, should I be worried about this?
Fine.
I had literally never been there in my entire life. So
I like
had
that they
sexual intercourse.
I like that they just took your word for it too. They're just like, it's probably not him then.
Yeah,
Like easy.
I'm such like, or at least to a lot of people, I'm a very like honest person. Like
I just look weak, honestly. You look at me, they're like, there's no way he could commit a crime. He's too weak for that.
It's not specific. I'm just asking if you have
Had sexual intercourse. Yes. Had sexual intercourse 3 or more times in one night. Yes. 69.
Yeah.
Yes. You were very quick about that one.
Wow.
have.
Yeah. Had sexual intercourse 10 or more times in one day. No. Lifetime. Yeah.
It doesn't say in one day. It's
Had
not specific.
well, I'm saying it's both. It doesn't matter. It's both. Well, no. Sorry. Yeah. No, it's not. Never mind. Fuck. Had sexual intercourse in 4 or more positions. Yeah. Had sexual intercourse with a stranger or person you met within 24 hours.
I like that Emily just goes, just check the box.
No. No. Had sexual intercourse in a motor vehicle. Yes.
I wish
had
the
sexual
first
intercourse
question...
outdoors. Both at the same time.
Wow.
We were halfway out the car. Outside. In public. 3 at the same time.
Wow. Look at you being a triple threat.
I've had sex in public.
Yeah. That's like,
Well, I mean,
not all
public
three at the same-
is...
just in my neighborhood.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of public.
That's
Had
kind
sexual intercourse in a swimming pool or hot tub.
Yes.
Yes.
Does a river count?
That's not what I was talking about, but sure. I've had sex before you. Don't judge me.
Wow, you
I'm
fucking
judging you.
slut.
I mean, we also had sex in a river. There we go. Do you want me to add an addendum to that? That was also in public.
Or any other body of water.
Or any other, yes. Had sexual intercourse in a bed not belonging to you or your partner. Yes. That was really awkward. Because there were pictures of other people
Oh, that's so weird.
that I had never met in my entire life.
Ah.
A point.
Well, they were house sitting, and they were. Oh no, I did that twice. No, more than twice. Damn. Anyway, what? What? Had sexual intercourse while you and your partner's parents were in the same house. Huh? You, not me. Oh, no, yeah, no, totally. Wait, when were your parents? We never had sex at your parents' house. No, we didn't. When?
When they still lived there.
Not in your bedroom. Never once. Not in your
Yes,
bedroom.
we did.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
Well, I'm not counting you anyway, so we'll just...
You know...
Because I don't remember it, so it doesn't count. Had sexual intercourse with a non-participating third party in the same room. Yes.
Non-participant. Yeah.
Joined the Mile High Club. No. Participated in a booty call with a partner whom you were not in a relationship with.
Yes.
Yes. Traveled 100 or more miles for the primary purpose of sexual intercourse.
Fuck that.
For the,
I will say that this is...
Wait. 100 or more miles, do I have to have had it? Because it was the purpose, but it didn't happen.
Let's say yes. Or no.
That it
let's say
has
no.
to have happened?
No, that didn't happen. But you did do it.
Yeah, I definitely traveled over 100 miles.
You traveled, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, how far away is Eugene? Look. Can you look up where Eugene is?
Just guess. Guesstimate.
What I am finding out through this is
Well, I don't know. It's... Hold on.
This is just...
Well, while you figure that out, I will say that I have participated in a booty call, but nothing happened.
That's...
So,
again, I feel so bad.
It's real unfortunate. I mean, it's my own fault, because they're like I showed up, because, I showed up, I remember showing up, because a friend messaged me because they were feeling sad, and I remember showing up at their place, we talked for a little while, and, I remember she moved in to try and kiss me, but I had also just broken up with my girlfriend at the time.
Oh.
So I was I was just
you gotta go for it.
but it's my mind's telling me no, but my body, and I'm we shouldn't do this.
You took the noble way out, and for that you lose your man card. I applaud you, but also you're an idiot.
Yep.
I checked it. It was 100 miles. Almost exactly.
There you go.
Anyway, had intercourse with a partner had sexual intercourse with a partner with a 3 or more year age difference. Yes. I do it often. Had sexual intercourse with a virgin. Yes. Had that was interesting. Had sexual intercourse without a condom. Yeah.
Too often.
I wasn't even thinking about the times with you. I was thinking about the one time that it got me in trouble.
I love Emily's color commentary for all of these questions.
Just take it there.
Well, that's just what I think of, because that's obviously the implication. Had an STI due to a reasonable suspicion. No.
Yes.
What?
Had an STI test due to reasonable suspicion.
Oh, test. You sure? Had an STI. I didn't give you anything.
Yeah, but that's reasonable you did.
She. Can I say she thought I gave her herpes? Because
I mean, that's a valid one. That's valid.
Because I have had cold sores. I have never had genital herpes. I have had cold sores.
It can be transferred from mouth to
I've never had a cold sore before, actually. I've had canker sores, but I've never had a cold sore.
I can't do that to myself.
Not with that attitude.
No, I'm saying I can't do that to myself.
You gotta stretch more.
Unless I'm going
yeah, put your legs behind your back. Really stretch.
Yeah, unless I'm using my mouth for lube, which no, I'm not gonna be able to give myself genital herpes. I'm just saying, with the ways that people would probably assume.
But you've tried though, right? I feel like every guy has tried at least once. I bent over as far as I could to see if I could,
but I wasn't like doing
No,
it with
yeah,
the
it's like
intent.
yeah, it's not like the intent, but you
I was
you
like-
do it because you're like, I wonder how far I can go.
Yeah, it was literally like, yeah, how far can I go?
Yeah.
And it was definitely
And it's like you try it, and then you just come to the observation of like, oh, it's not far enough.
it was like my back hurts, and going any further, I was like, yeah, probably, but like I don't want
I'm liable to break something.
it would hurt, yeah. It'd be doable, but it'd hurt.
Yeah.
Anyway, had an STI. No. Does a cold sore count? Okay, then no.
Cold sores don't count.
Had a threesome. No.
He's so disappointed.
Huh?
You didn't.
Attended an orgy. No. Had 2 or more distinct acts of sexual intercourse with 2 or more people within 24 hours. No. No. My partners were usually
Did you
like
double
one
smash?
at a time. No. Had sexual intercourse with 5 or more partners.
Wait.
1, 2. Wait.
No, they're talking about it this.
No. I think it's
Well, then why did the 10 or more?
times. Like,
Oh.
yeah, number of times. Hold on, I need to count.
All you
One,
need to do is count to
2.
5, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to remember the order here.
Why does it matter?
Cause I don't remember if it's 5 or not. It's like it's around 5-ish.
Oh my god.
3, 4. Yeah, okay. It's more than 5. Been photographed. It's been photographed or filmed during. Yes. Had period sex. Yeah.
Nope.
Had anal sex. No.
Again,
not gonna.
so
Had a
disappointed.
pregnancy scare.
Yeah.
Scare? Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. 95. Yes. 96. Yes. Paid or been paid for a sexual act. No. Committed an act of voyeurism.
Yes. already had this conversation. We already had this conversation last time.
That's you watching someone else, right?
I think it's watching or listening. I think at the very least.
Right. Yeah. Well, I've definitely listened to someone having sex.
Well,
It
but like
was not
voluntarily,
necessarily-
voluntarily listening.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Voyeurism, the practice of gaining sexual
Why is
pleasure.
100 engaged in bestiality? Like, why end it on that note?
Who knows?
Why
Alright,
do you- why
voyeurism
end
is
on
the practice of
incest
gaining
and
sexual pleasure from
bestiality?
watching others when they are naked or engaged in sexual activity.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
I
so
won't
maybe-
say
so
that
may-
I wasn't enjoying the...
I mean, I didn't see, but I did hear.
Yeah. It says engaged in. What? But you hear sex, you get...
This is
You just... it's a thing, okay?
this is very true. I mean, I would say that is an act of engagement is listening.
Okay, calculate. My score is 27? Is that
My score is
high
70.
or low?
That is
That is
low.
the number of things I said no? Like,
No.
that I didn't?
it's the number of things that you didn't do.
Haven't done. Wow.
Yeah, so the higher the number, the more pure you are. The lower the number, the less pure you
There, a
are.
lot of those were just like.
I think actually my number is lower than when I took this last time. Oddly enough, I think my number
Hey,
is lower.
at least you're branching out.
Yeah, this is expanding my horizons.
You're doing stuff.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, slowly. We're getting there. But so what's your number?
27.
27. Huh. Mine is 70. Alright. Well,
I like it.
yeah, that was a very interesting
I am very impure.
Apparently so. I think one of my friends, when they took this test, I think theirs was like 15.
Damn.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay. Well, that's different.
It's those last two that, like, I could believe somebody would be at like a 98. I could believe that somebody was able to do all that. It's those last 2%
Yeah.
that I'm like, if you say you're 100%, we've got some problems.
Yeah.
Although it's legal over here for bestiality. Well, in your state, not my state. Yeah. Bestiality is legal in Washington. So that's information for people out there if they ever wanted to know that.
There you go.
You won't get in trouble for it. I'm not condoning it, but you won't get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
Maybe doing it in public, you might get in trouble for it.
Yeah, maybe in public that's probably not great, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a very open environment in the two Northwest states. I mean, you can legally be naked in public
public nudity?
in Oregon as long as it isn't directed at anyone for sexual, like with sexual intent.
Interesting.
Because we have the naked bike ride. That is a thing that happens. Huh?
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. It's less fun than it sounds, at least in the viewing aspect, because it's a lot of old people with pasties, and it's not great. It's a lot of dick. I have an old coworker, and she used to participate in it, and she's like, yeah, it's fun until your ass starts chafing on the seat. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because you're just constantly rubbing because your legs are moving. Yeah,
Yep.
From what I've heard, it's not that fun. Did I just elbow you in the vagina?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that was fun. I realized that I'm 77% or 73% impure.
Hey. Congratulations, you're a heathen.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't. You know, there are some more things on that list that I would like to check off. I'm not gonna lie. But what?
Not getting anal.
That's not what I was asking for.
You're also not getting an orgy or threesome.
The orgy I can live without. Anyway.
The orgy I can live without.
That's
don't need it.
The way that I feel about orgies is the way that I feel about strip clubs. I don't want to be in a room with that many other dicks.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Specifically I just don't need to be in that, because like I already work in a like there are 3 women that I work with. Everyone else is a guy. Like I'm already used to being in a room with a bunch of douchebag guys. Like I don't need to be in a room with a bunch of douchebag guys that all have boners.
Rather be full of boner.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was entertaining.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
I can't believe 70. Jesus.
Yep, 70. I think again. I'm pretty sure my score was higher.
I think you are still one of God's children. I think that's what that means.
Maybe. We're slowly, like, we don't talk as much anymore.
Hey, I will say that I am proud of you for having taken ticks off.
Having what?
Having taken ticks off. Because you said you were higher the last time you took it. So, hey, good for you.
I'm pretty sure the last time I took it was 87, I think.
Also, we didn't really address, like, I didn't hear you say no to incest or bestiality. So
those are also no. Those are no.
Okay. Also, considering I know that you only have, well, incest doesn't necessarily have to be sibling. So I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you only have one sibling, and I'm glad.
I actually do have a half sister.
Right.
Yeah, I have a sister and I have a half sister.
Okay.
Actually, we don't talk.
Okay. Yeah. We've talked about that.
Yeah. Not that we hate each other, we just don't talk. We're essentially strangers to each other, so it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, me and my half siblings too.
Moving over from that lovely conversation, I do want to talk about. There's a webtoon, so you read comics, all right? You read a lot of comic books. I have stopped reading comic books lately. I do want to get back into them. I'm like kind of paralyzed because I keep falling behind and there are more issues, and I'm like, I really need to read these, but it's gonna take a lot of time, and then I just get paralyzed by that, and then I don't read them, and then the cycle repeats.
What I have learned is don't fucking read current comics, because
Yeah.
Most of them are bad.
Yeah, I think
And,
that's
like,
the kind
arts
of the
need
problem
wrap
that I'm running into is that like I'm definitely reading current stuff and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I like want to read this, but at the same time I don't. I've paused on that, but I do read a lot of manga and I read a lot of web comics as well. Specifically, there is a app that I use called Webtoons, not sponsored, but if Webtoons wants to sponsor us, that would be awesome.
That would be cool, because
I've-
my sister wants to make a webtoon with
I've
me.
been reading Webtoons for like, God, I want to say like 4 or 5 years now.
Nice.
Like legitimate, no, actually more than that because I would read them in college too. So yeah, at least 4 years now. Actually no, at least 6 years. But so there's one Webtoons though that I started reading again because I guess one of the new seasons started for it, and it's called Outrage. And I was telling you about this a couple weeks ago, or a couple of days ago, actually, maybe a week ago. But it is in a similar vein as a regular like comic book, like Western style comic book, and it's about an internet virus that can materialize itself into the real world, and it beats the shit out of toxic people. So like people who would make like anonymous comments, like real like toxic like radical people, or people who like super toxic internet trolls. It's a program that will manifest itself and it'll just kick the shit out of you if you
That's
like that.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a really
God,
cool,
I wish that existed.
Dude, it's a super super cool comic. It's called Outrage, and I was telling you about this because the creators of it were Bobby and Nicienza, who
wrote
X-Men, X-Force, New Warriors, Thunderbolts, Justice League, Superman, Batman, and Robin. And then another creator named Riley Brown, who is best known for his work with Deadpool and Spider-Man. So, yeah, they just started their second season, and it's a really really great comic. It's super super fun. It is very much in the style of, like, you can definitely see the Deadpool style for it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like the comedy and like the writing is like all there, and it's just like, yeah, this is So if you like Deadpool, this is basically like an internet version of Deadpool, which is kind of weird to say.
Oh god, I'm looking at some of the chat. Yeah, this dude is definitely a professional.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's a very professional.
And that's not like to knock on people who
Right.
are doing this on their own. There's just a distinct difference.
You can see the art style.
It's a comic book artist style.
It's definitely not like an independent sort of deal. It's very much, you can tell that this guy used to work for big name comic books.
Yeah, his paneling is very like it's not as like it's very structured just from looking at this. Whereas some of the other webtoons that I've seen, they're not structured like that. They're they will do like just long spreads as opposed to actual panels.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing about it is that I actually went to a Webtoons panel a couple years ago at a convention, and they were specifically talking about like, because the biggest difference between normal web comics or comic books compared to Webtoons is just the vertical scrolling aspect of it. And it's like there were actual, like, for a lot of some of the artists were there at the panel, they were talking about it, and they were saying that transitioning to that sort of format for the vertical scrolling was really really challenging, especially for some people who were so used to traditional comic book paneling. They had to kind of translate that into more vertical, and like kind of like how do you get the pacing of that instead of like turning pages.
Pacing is super super important for artists, like, as long as they, well, I mean, it's important for the story too, but like artists play off of the story, and they're the visual storytellers, so they have to be able to, like, especially if there's an intense scene coming up, they're like, oh, I have all of this time to build up for this. It does work similarly, but like a lot of the time that I like in reading comics, you kind of get spoiled by having 2 pages open in front of you.
Yeah.
But with this, like, the only thing that spoils it for you is if you scroll down before the reveal is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, so many times I've been reading a book and been like, oh man, something cool is going to come up, and then I just look over to the right just a little bit, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, whatever.
Cool.
I'm like, all right. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting medium that I do need to get into more. Anyway, so I don't want to interrupt you any more than I have.
Oh, no. That was really all I just wanted to say. Was just I just wanted to talk about that briefly, just because like it was weird because like I saw it on the front page of the app when I was reading my normal stuff, and I was like, oh, cool. Like I remember I remember I used to read Outrage and stuff like that, and I'm like, wait, why am I not reading Outrage? And then I found out that apparently I just never subscribed. I guess at some point I unsubbed to it, and I was just like, I don't know why I did that. That's fucking dumb.
Weird.
Yeah, and I'm like,
that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and like I resubbed it. I'm like, awesome. Because I remember I stopped reading it because the first season ended, and then I was just like, oh man, I wonder when they're gonna come back with that. And then I guess they did at some point. I just never noticed.
I wonder if Fabian Nicienza has written anything for a while, like professionally. He wrote for the Deadpool movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. There you go. Nice. Good for him.
Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's really done much. Yeah, he hasn't really done much since like 2011 professionally.
Okay.
So, he's a really good writer.
Yeah. I definitely love the series so far for Outrage, and I definitely think you would like it for sure, because I think it's
I need to check it out.
Yeah, especially like as an introduction to webtoons and stuff like that. I think this is a pretty good way to introduce you, because it still has that comic book feel to it.
The one that I did read quite a few chapters of was the only one that I like regularly go back and look at. Like I'm definitely not caught up because it's been going for a while. But it's Lore Olympus.
Oh,
and I really like Lore Olympus.
Yeah, Lore Olympus is so good.
I love Greek
Lore
mythology.
Olympus, yeah.
I especially love modern takes on Greek mythology. And the lady's art style is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Her storytelling structure is amazing. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And
I would definitely
definitely recommend anybody
like
go
some of
and read that.
my top 3 webtoons that like if I ever recommend them to somebody are probably Weak Hero, which also just started. I think its final season. I think they just started that up just recently. But I love Weak Hero, and The Boxer is also a really good one that I absolutely fucking love. And probably About Death is probably like, it's one that it completed back in, actually no, I'll take that back. As far as current ones, I would say Weak Hero, The Boxer, and Dr. Frost are probably my go-to like top 3. You need to read these ones because they're a great way to like get started. Dr. Frost specifically because actually they just started their 3rd season, I believe, and it hasn't. Their second season ended, I think, back in 2018, I think. So it hasn't updated in like 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's great. It's about this. It's about Dr. Frost is about a psychiatrist who is a sociopath.
Okay.
Yeah. And
that
so, like,
sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And like it is based in I think Korea is like where it's supposed to be based in. And so like a lot of the stuff kind of centers around that sort of kind of dynamic. Like the first episode, or the first kind of arc, I should say, is all about this girl. She has panic attacks, and it's basically like her mom and like general society in Korea, I guess. If you go to a psychiatrist, you're basically crazy. And so it's this girl, just teenage girl, trying to like cope with having panic attacks, while also trying to reassure herself that she's like not insane and that there's something wrong with her. And so it's a really, really interesting, it's like super informative. The author, like, I guess goes out of their way to really try and like do as much research as possible to make sure like they're explaining all the different like kind of like symptoms and like diagnosis and stuff like that to make sure it's like as accurate as possible and stuff like that. It's really, really interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's actually really funny because in later episodes, they talk about like someone's interviewing the psychiatrist, and they're like, "So your first case, you broke into the patient's house. What happened there?" and it's I don't want to spoil anything, but it's directly linked to the first arc basically, and it's really, really good, and I highly recommend it, especially if you're interested in like mental illness and stuff like that.
Yeah, Emily would probably get a kick out of it. It definitely sounds interesting. I need to write these down.
Yeah, I would also say that it is probably one of the very few webtoons that I've read and have openly made me cry.
I've had a few comics do that. A few, not a lot, but a couple of them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna link you these to. This is a person I found on Instagram, and they do. It's a Greek mythology kind of thing. Like they do mythological stuff, and it not exclusively, but they're called Goofy God Comics, and there is kind of an ongoing story specifically with Death and his dog Serby, and he it's kind of like how Hades and Persephone are, because I think Death is also in love with Persephone in these comics, and they're much more cutesy than more than Lore Olympus. No, it's another comic that's kind of like Lore Olympus. Well, it is, but like this is more.
I love
Lore Olympus is really good. Anyway, this is exclusive, as far as I know, exclusively on Instagram, and you should check them out because they're really cool and they're really cute, and Serby is adorable.
Yeah, those because it's really cute.
He's
really fucking cute.
I'm assuming a Rottweiler. I think that's a Rottweiler.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know dogs that well. I am not a dog person.
Yeah.
I would say he's a little Rottweiler, little three-headed
I would.
Rottweiler.
Yeah, the color is similar to a Rottweiler, I would say.
But yeah, he's super, super adorable, and it just talks about Death and his three-headed dog Serby, and Serby kind of understands that he has a crush on Persephone, and he like basically wingmans for him, and it's really cute. And now I just want to read Lore Olympus. So
do you know where you are in Lore Olympus specifically?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'll look it up really quick.
Yeah, because Esprit and I, we both read Lore Olympus, and I'm all caught up with it, and boy howdy, am I having a good time.
Oh boy, yeah, I'm definitely early. Oh boy, yeah. I think, oh boy, like 6, 7.
Oh, okay. Oh boy, all right.
This is where she wakes up in his. Okay,
That's,
I think I'm on 7, because I. Yeah, I'm definitely on 7.
Oh, God.
So I have a lot.
You got a ways to
6.
go.
A ways to go.
Like I definitely a ways
Because there's
to
151.
go. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's quite a bit.
Yeah, I absolutely love her art style. It's so good. I love her takes on the Greek mythological characters, because it's not just the gods and everything.
Yeah,
it's
and I love
really
how
cool.
like she depicts them all too.
Yeah. I especially love Cerberus. I love whenever
Cerberus is so
whenever
cute.
anybody does Cerberus. So I've talked to you about Hikaru no Go, right?
Yeah, I think you've mentioned it a couple times.
Okay, so I'm about halfway in, and I would definitely recommend reading it. It's specifically because I know that you like slice of life stuff, and it is very like slice of life. It's just about well, they say, yeah, he starts off, he's in 6th grade, which there is elementary school. So, and then middle school, and then as far as I am, he hasn't even reached high school yet.
Okay.
Anyway, it's just about a kid who gets like possessed by a 1,000-year-old ghost who all he wants to do and all he knows how to do is play Go, which is an ancient Chinese board game.
Yeah, it's basically like Asian chess.
Well, no. That's a different game.
Oh.
That's shogi.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Go is a game about territory. It's played on I think a 19 by 19 board,
I actually
and you
have
play
a Go board,
stones
actually.
in the points where the lines meet. Anyway, and it's just about gaining as much territory as you can over your opponent, and the person who has the most territory wins.
Yeah.
And anyway, like, the game is the least important aspect of the story. It's mostly just about, like, Hikaru, he's the main character, his own personal growth in learning how to play the game. Like, yeah, the game is, like, what drives him, but you learn less about... I mean, you do learn about the game, but it's not about the game, like, understanding what's happening, as it is about seeing this kid's journey from being kind of... He's eventually going to be a dropout. Like, you just know. He doesn't really care about anything. He has no drive to do anything. He's just kind of goofs off. He's not like a prankster or anything, and he has friends. But once he gets possessed by the ghost, his name is Sai, his personality changes pretty quickly, and he's like, hey, like, I want to learn how to do this. I want to get better. I don't want to just have this ghost do everything for me, because all the ghost wants to do is play Go. And he's like, well, I don't want to be a puppet, really. Like, it's not like it's not that he doesn't like Sai. It's like, hey, now I have the goal to also be good. And his journey is really cool, and I think you'd like it because it also is really like insightful into the world of Japan and, you know, the Go world. Although it takes place in a fictional Go universe, because not everything works the same way it does like it does in our world, because the writer kind of simplifies everything. And
okay, hold on, pause for a second.
Yeah.
Back up like 3 minutes, because my computer froze, so I didn't hear anything that you just said.
Oh no. Okay, what was the last thing you heard? What was the first thing you heard?
The first thing I heard, you had just finished explaining what Go was.
Okay.
And
so
then it's less about the manga's less about the game and more so about him learning how to play.
Yeah, it's about him learning how to play and him maturing and becoming a different person and someone with real goals.
Okay.
Because he gets possessed by this ghost named Sai.
Yep.
And Sai, all he wants to do is play Go. And Hikaru decides that he doesn't want to just sit back and watch Sai play, because effectively at the beginning, he just plays all the moves that Sai tells him to do, because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Right.
And he is kind of impacted by Sai's emotions, which only really plays into the first like 2 issues. Like when Sai gets really sad, Hikaru starts throwing up. But he never like Sai is sad later, and it's nothing. It's just kind of a plot device to kind of like give Hikaru incentive to play Go. Otherwise, he's gonna be sick all the time. Anyway, and he decides that he wants to learn how to play Go as well. And he essentially has this 1,000-year-old master of Go, and he begins learning and getting better, and like he enters tournaments, and he gains a lot more friends and like rivals this way. It's a really interesting story about just a boy learning like about his own personal growth and like self-worth, and like having your own goals and then meeting them and then achieving them and setting new goals. He becomes a very adult person at a very young age. Like, it's really cool. He meets this young boy who he's like, oh hey, he's another kid, like I'll just play against him. And then he playing for the Ghost beats him, and it turns out that this boy is like about to be a professional, and it's like, holy shit, that means something to the kid that he beat, and they develop a rivalry and everything, and it's really cool. It's really good. It gives you a lot of insight into Japanese culture, I think, more than some other manga that I've read, because in all honesty, most of the manga that I've read hasn't actually been set in Japan. Like, One Piece is definitely not in Japan.
Just definitely. No, it's just feudal pirate Japan. You didn't know?
Yeah. And it's really interesting, because I do like some more realism-based books. Like, I love One Piece, I love Dragon Ball, but Hikaru no Go is one of the few that I've always gone back to read. Like that and Prince of Tennis, like they're much more real. Prince of Tennis is amazing.
It's so good.
Definitely almost failed classes because of Prince of Tennis. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend reading Hikaru no Go, even if you don't care about the board game. It's not about the board game. It's about watching a young boy grow up, and it's pretty cool.
That kind of reminds me
really
of
and very inspiring. Sorry.
What was that one movie that it was like it won a bunch of awards because it was like filmed over literally like this guy's like entire lifespan. I think it was called Boy. I think is what it was called, or Boyhood.
Yeah.
Maybe? Boy. Something like that. It kind of reminds me of that, honestly. But just like not on like such a grand scale.
Is it A Boy's Life?
I don't remember. But I think it was
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like it won a bunch of awards, or like was at least nominated for a bunch of things. But I don't quite remember what it was. Actually, I barely even know what it was about. Boyhood. Okay, yeah, I definitely know, like, 'cause it was like literally a film based up like over this kid's entire life, and like that was literally the movie. And I think it was like filmed like over like I think 16 years or something like that.
12 years.
12 years.
Yep. That would be crazy though, because like not only is it like it is this boy's whole life, but he has fake parents.
Yeah.
In this. And like that's it's kind of disingenuous, because you're like, oh yeah, no, it's his whole life, like this is exactly what it's like, but it's like, Ethan Hawke is not his dad. We know Ethan Hawke is not his dad. It's interesting. I definitely need to watch it because when I saw it, I was like, or when I saw that it won all these awards, and I was looking to Ethan Hawke one day, and I was like, holy shit, this is like 100% on a bunch of aggregate sites or like review sites. I was like, that's insane. Yeah, it seems weird. It's kind of like the Truman Show, but more realist, like without the kind of secrecy behind it, because it's like this kid actually knew he was being filmed, and it was for a film. Have you ever seen the Truman Show?
I've seen like snippets, but I was never really like interested in the Truman Show.
A lot of people really like it. I think it's a little weird. Like, the concept is way better than the execution.
Speaking of in the same vein as the Truman Show, I just saw a news article that I don't know what her name is. I just know the Catch Me Outside girl from Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
I guess she just joined OnlyFans because she turned 18. And she now has like 12. She's like made like $12 million in like memberships alone already.
Of course she has.
Yeah, and I was just like
well, I mean, the same thing happened to what's her name, Belle Delphine.
Yeah,
because she didn't have one for like ever, because she disappeared for a while after the whole bathwater thing.
Yeah, but like
she got like kicked off the internet.
But how old is Belle Delphine though? She's like our age, right? Or at least early 20s, right?
Yeah, she...
Something like that.
God, this is going to be in my search history now. Belle Delphine. YouTube. She was born in 99.
99, so
she's 21.
21. Okay, yeah.
She's from South Africa. Okay.
Weird.
Huh.
I would not have expected that. That's
why?
Cool.
Because she's white?
Yeah.
A large portion of the South African community is white. If you didn't know.
Yeah, didn't know that. Now I know.
Well, so one of the European shoutcasters for League of Legends, at least I don't know if he's still there, but when I was watching, I was like, what is his accent? Because it's not like British and it's not Australian.
Who is it?
And I was like, I looked him up, and he's from South Africa.
Who is it?
I don't remember. European League of Legends.
I feel like he would. Because most likely, I feel like he's probably still on, but I don't know who you're talking about.
Casters. Oh God, it's just a list. Oh fuck. Is it Quickshot?
Quickshot's
yeah, it's
still
Quickshot.
There? He's from South Africa, really?
He's from South Africa. Yep.
What? Wow, that's shocking. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Huh.
I remember originally hearing it, and I'm like, oh God, I don't like his accent. And then I'm like, then I started watching more, and I'm like,
Quickshot,
I love this dude's attitude.
Yeah.
Like, he's so cool. He's so upbeat about everything.
Quickshot's so great.
So when I started watching League was like it was pretty early in like its
Inception.
Yeah, especially like the LCS, and he was talking about he was on a plane and he was just reading like about League of Legends. He's like learning what all the names of all of the abilities and characters were, and all of the items. Like he's like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. And he said he just spent hours going over and over, and I was like,
that's actually pretty funny.
I think that's one of the reasons that I started off not liking him. I was like, how are you shoutcasting for a game that you've never played? Like, that's so
That's so weird, yeah.
Eventually he ended up being one of my favorite shoutcasters.
Yeah, really cool. Quickshot's so cool. I love Quickshot. He's great.
Riv. I love Riv.
Oh, yeah, I've met him before, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I met him. I think it was the first year I went to TwitchCon. There was the meme. You may have seen it, but it was the first year I went to TwitchCon. I think this was 2018. Yeah, 2018. It was dubbed LineCon because the very first day, I had to wait in line just to get into the convention. I had to wait in line for like 4 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, it was the first day because they moved venues from San Diego to Anaheim, I think. And it was the first time they moved, and they were just so unprepared. But so I remember I was waiting in line with Nicole, and literally, literally, we're standing in line. She turns around. She goes, "Do we know that guy?" And I turn around, and I'm like, "He looks really familiar. I don't quite know what it is." And then I go, "Oh, that's Riv." And she's like, "Who?" Because this is when she started. This is when Nicole started watching League a little bit, but she didn't know all the names still. And I'm like, "It's Riv Rivington the Third from He's one of the LCS casters." And sure enough, I was like, it was him, and I was like, yeah, we were talking, and he had time in between rehearsals for LCS, and so he came to check out the TwitchCon. Or maybe it wasn't. No, yeah, it was. Yeah. I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was in Anaheim. I think. I'm pretty sure. I'll see if I can find the photo real quick, and I'll send it to you.
There's one that I'm thinking of, and I cannot find him. He used to be one of the only English-speaking shoutcasters for the Korean League, and I don't remember what his name was, like, at all.
Yeah, here we go.
Trying to find him.
That was a bad photo.
There were only a few that I really liked.
You know, I'm gonna do something, because we always share a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna make a Discord channel. And it's gonna be just anything that we share on the podcast. It's all gonna be there.
Okay. Riv was definitely my favorite.
It's just gonna be called the link dump. I'm just gonna call it that. Fuck it. Because it's just going to be easier.
Riv was definitely my favorite NA shoutcaster, but Freak was, like, right there. I really liked Freak.
Yeah.
But Kobe...
I really like Captain
was
Flowers.
So awesome.
Kobe's great. Kobe's good. I remember... I don't know if you remember this, but this was a few years ago. It was 1 year for Worlds. League... Riot changed, you know, like the announcer for the games, right? The female announcer's voice.
Right.
So for 1 year for Worlds, they gave you an option to change the announcer's voice, and it was just freaking Kobe doing all the announcements. It was so funny. It was so fucking good, actually. And I'm so mad that they took it away. Because I don't think it's a thing anymore on the client, but like for 1 year for Worlds, it was for the entire durations of Worlds, you could have freaking Kobe just constantly calling shit out, and it was so fucking cool. Like I think there was one I think if you got like a pentakill, it was like just freak yelling pentakill, and Kobe just being like, they're gonna feel that one in the morning, freak. It's so funny.
Kobe is so cool.
Yeah.
Dude. And now I'm on the frickin' Leaguepedia, and now I'm just like, and C9 made it to finals again. Cool. Yep. Let's see what.
I haven't been following League too much. I definitely still watch some of the games, but I definitely haven't been like following it as frequently this season, just because of I don't know, just because. Yeah, one of my favorite shoutcasters is Captain Flowers. Captain Flowers is by far one of my favorite shoutcasters to watch.
He was never around when I.
He's great. Captain Flowers is great. Actually, I'm gonna send you a clip of why Captain Flowers is probably one of my favorite shoutcasters, and it's because of how good of a job he does.
I remember TSM Evo. Most people don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
It was just a second team that TSM had at the same time as TSM before they like forced.
I'm gonna put this in the link dump. But this is Worlds 2018. I believe this is qualifiers. This is I think China versus Korea, I want to say. Invictus Gaming China versus KT Roaster Korea. and it's a base race
nice.
between the two, and it's such an awesome clip because of the entire time it's just Captain Flowers commentating the entire thing, and it's so fucking impressive.
Let's see.
Like I remember like this moment happened, and someone clipped it and put it on Twitter, and like he retweeted it, and I remember C9's Twitter just replied back saying, "Breathe."
Yeah, I was literally just gonna be like, this. He doesn't need to be the only one saying, because you can tell Kobe wants to say
they
something.
want to say it. You know that they want to say it, but they're like, he keeps going. He's just gonna keep going. It's fine. Yeah, Captain Flowers is such like he's he's such an impressive shoutcaster.
Yeah, I've literally never seen him before. That's so you can tell when I fell out. I'm looking at this right. I'm looking at all the old seasons. So when I started watching League, was NALCS 2013 spring season.
Oh,
that had Complexity, fuck. CLG, Team Curse, Good Game University, Team Vulcan, TSM, Dignitas, and Team MRN.
That I don't think I even started watching League at that point. Still,
I
knew right?
all of those. Yeah, 2013.
I think I didn't start. I had just started playing League at that point.
And let's see, playoffs. TSM won. Then there was the summer season. That was the inaugural season of Cloud9.
God, Jesus.
So that season was Cloud9, CLG, Team Coast, Curse, Curse, Velocity, Vulcan, TSM, and Dignitas. And that season, I remember, I was in for that season. I was watching all the time, and that was the first time that TSM hadn't topped. And that was the beginning of the end for TSM, and it made me so happy.
I mean, they've been doing sort of good.
Because
in years past,
controversial statement. Fuck TSM.
Well, is it really that controversial though?
No, it's not.
I don't think it's
so when I was playing, I was one of the few guys, at least in my group, that I was all in for Cloud9. I have a C9 shirt, and anywhere I would go, people are like, TSM, bro. And I'm like,
nah.
Fuck you, shut up.
Fuck you.
Cloud9, all the way. Oh man. There was a point in time where TSM had a super bad record, super bad, and I think they almost got knocked out, and I was so excited. I wanted them to lose so bad. Oh god, LMQ. I miss LMQ. They were so awesome. Do you even know who that team is?
No, I've never heard of LMQ before.
Okay,
ever.
LMQ was
who that is.
An entirely.
Does that stand for something?
Yeah, no. It was a Chinese team.
Wait, what region are they from?
They were a North American team.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what. I've never heard of that team ever.
They became Team Impulse, which also doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, nope, still don't know them. Still don't know who those are.
So it was a team entirely of Chinese players that weren't able to either they weren't able to make it over there or something. Anyway, they were really good, and unfortunately, they did end up losing quite a bit. Over here, there was some issues, but they had one of the coolest ADCs, one of the coolest. I think he was the jungler or was the mid. So there was Zhao. I think he was the mid. Vasily was the AD carry. Unfortunately, yeah. I think Vasily ended up getting banned from League of Legends. One of their guys had like domestic violence charges, and I think it was him.
Jesus.
But the whole team was really cool. As a whole, yeah, they don't exist anymore. They got knocked out, I think, that year, which makes me really sad. Really cool team.
Yeah, I think I started watching. I want to say I started watching 2016, maybe 2017. I think. And because I remember watching, because I used to never watch the actual tournament, like the actual splits. But I started watching, but I would always watch Worlds. And I think the Worlds that I started watching, that was like when I was like starting to get like more into it, was, I want to say 2016. Whichever when the song Worlds Collide, because they started doing like anthems at that point. Yeah. Whichever that year that song came out is when I started watching. I remember
Gravity, Team 8.
Like one of my favorite teams was, they're not around. I think they're around now, but it's not the same. It's the Rocks Tigers. They're a Korean team.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I started watching. I was like really rooting for them because, like your sentiment for TSM, I was like, fuck SKT.
Oh like, yeah, no, I still say fuck SKT.
I'm still just like fuck SKT. Fuck that.
Like even if they're not the best anymore, I'm like,
fuck them.
Oh boy. Let's see. So that was 2015, 2016. This is, I think, around the time that I stopped playing. Yeah, I was around for the start of Immortals, Echo Fox, Renegades, Energy, Summer Season, Phoenix, Apex. This is when I stopped playing. Around summer season of 2016. I just stopped caring. I was like, I don't like Team Liquid. They're a worse team curse. Immortals is just full of a bunch of people who are not as nearly as talented as they think they are. And
there was I think I want to say 2017. I think there was an introduction to a bunch of new teams, and one of them was FlyQuest. And I really like them because they were just old Cloud9.
Yeah, and I did like them for that exact same reason, but I was like, but Cloud9 though.
It's not the same.
I was behind the name, but I was also behind the old players, so it was really hard because, unfortunately, FlyQuest had a shit record. Yeah,
FlyQuest was not good.
And then Optic Gaming was also cool. Unfortunately, they don't exist anymore.
Nope. 100 Thieves is still around. They're actually pretty decent now.
I mean, decent. I'm looking at the spring split here. They were the top team.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But Team Liquid beat them in the finals.
Yeah.
They had the highest record, but Liquid beat them. Let's see. What are the current teams? Is there a single player from the current...
I think there's one player that I think you would still recognize still. Because I remember we talked about this.
I
would say
I know Santorin and Jensen.
Okay.
They're both on Liquid. I know of Core JJ.
Yep, Core JJ I think was I think he's Korean, I think.
Huhi and Someday, I also know about them because they're Korean. Dardock I know of, Aframu.
Yeah, Aframu is the one that I'm pretty sure you would know out of anybody.
Sven. I know of Sven Skaren, and I don't like... Oh, and Impact. Yeah, I don't like Sven Skaren, because a lot of people need to remember, he was the really racist guy.
Was he?
Yes, he said a bunch of really racist shit right before Worlds. And he got banned for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, I don't think I ever knew
Poe Belter, Wild Turtle, and Smoothie.
Yep.
And I know of Stixay.
I forgot Wild Turtle was still playing.
Sven Skaren.
I'm thinking of Sven.
Yeah, Yeah. He was banned for 3 games using a racist username on the Taiwanese servers. And it wasn't like it wasn't the only time that he did it. So his name was Taipei Ching Chong.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
He's not from... He's a
shit.
white guy from,
Yeah.
I think, like, the Netherlands or something.
I think so, yeah.
And it's just, like, people need to remember that, like, people may like him, but he has done some really fucked up shit.
Yeah. Wow.
And
that's
that's
actually
not
pretty
cool.
bad. I didn't think it was that bad. That's pretty bad.
He's from Denmark.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was...
Jesus.
Please remember that. Like, I'm not saying flame the guy, but
he ain't no
like,
saint.
yeah. I was especially super wary because he joined TSM like a little while after that, or that might have been when he was on TSM for the first time. And I was like, well, TSM already sucks. This just makes them worse.
Yeah.
That's where I was at the time. I was like, fuck TSM, especially now.
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting because of, do you know who the coach for TSM is now?
No.
It's Bjergsen.
Oh,
Yeah, he retired
cool.
and became the coach now.
that's awesome. I was going to say, it's not that dude who was caught jerking it, right?
No, I don't know who you're talking. Who are you
You
talking
don't know
about?
who I'm talking about?
No, who are you
Oh my
talking
God.
about? What?
He was around for a long time. He was like really popular, but he kept like missing time. I don't know. Like he kept getting dropped from the team.
It's weird.
About former. I wish this was in like some sort of alphabetical order. Lust Boy. No, not Lust Boy. Lust Boy? No, not Lust Boy. Fuck. Why are there so many people? Not West Rice. Loco Doco. Loco Doco.
Oh, I do know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I
got
recognize
caught
that
jerking
name.
off on stream one time.
That's awesome.
And then he joined TSM, and everybody's
That's so
like,
funny.
because he was like supposed to be their AD carry, and like he just kept getting dropped because he kept playing really really shit.
Huh.
But everybody's like, oh, Loco Doco's so good. And he never showed it, like not once.
Huh.
Did he ever show that he was actually good?
Interesting.
But he was apparently a pretty good coach, so
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
there's
that's
that.
good. Yeah, I think I definitely remember him being a coach. I definitely remember that much.
The odd one was awesome. Who else? God, Bjerg looks so different now. I remember when he first started, he was a kid.
Yeah,
like,
fresh
he was
baby face. Fuck yeah.
baby face Bjergsen.
Dude, yeah.
Oh boy,
Hells yeah, man.
double lift. I remember double lift. He was always a douchebag. I love him, but he's a douchebag.
Who?
Double lift.
Oh, yeah. Double Wizard's kind of a dick.
But
Like,
wait,
hearing
double
him,
lift
like,
has 2
interviews
spots
and, like,
in
yeah.
the former. I'm looking at their former list, and he's the second, and he has another one a little ways down. He's been former twice.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Let's see, Valkyrin. Oh man, I remember Valkyrin. He's awesome. I used to watch his videos all the time. Yellow Star was okay. Turtle's been on the team 3 different times.
I know the name Yellow Star.
Dyrus. Will always remember Dyrus. Night Blue.
I remember Dyrus.
Was okay. Glebe was alright. Ninja Ken. Mega Zero. All these dudes are from when I was playing. Ah,
God.
dude. X Special.
I don't think I know who that one is. I know Xpeke.
X Special was TSM's old, like, OG support.
Okay.
Fuck Reggie. I like Reggie. He's way better as an owner and a manager than he is a player.
Wait, he was a player?
Yeah, he used to be their mid.
No way.
Yeah.
Are we talking about Echo Fox owner Reggie?
Reggie, the owner of TSM.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Andy Din. His name, he just goes by Reggie or Reginald.
Okay. I was thinking of... God, what's his name? The owner of Echo Fox. I'm thinking Rick Fox. Never mind.
Oh.
That's why I got that
Saint
confused.
Vicious?
Okay. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know Reggie. Okay.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Hold on. Alexa thinks I'm talking to it.
Man. Crazy.
You Echo. There you go. Yeah, I definitely don't play League of Legends anymore.
Oh, I don't either.
Cause why would I?
Chicks
why would I
dig
do
Elo.
that?
I forgot about Chicks Dig Elo.
That's someone's name. That's so good.
No, that was a team.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yep.
I always liked. There was one team that I always thought was kind of funny because it was. You know how like for tournaments they always abbreviate teams' names.
Right.
It's always a maximum of three letters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 3 characters. I always thought it was funny because there was one team. This was back when they did like wild card brackets for Worlds. And I always thought it was hilarious because one of the teams that did really well was called Albus Nox Luna. But their initials for the team when in games was ANX. And I remember one day I was like, that's weird that it's ANX. Why isn't ANL? And then I was like, oh, because that would mean anal. Oh, that's why it's not that. Okay, that makes sense now.
That's amazing.
I just like, I always thought that was such a weird, like, I wonder why they did ANX and why not AN. Oh, I get it now. That's probably why.
Saint Vicious. He's awesome. Did you ever know who Saint Vicious was?
I recognize the name, but I don't think I know the person.
He was a primarily a jungler around the Curse years.
Okay.
And then he used to play for TSM, and then he moved to Curse, and then he built a team pretty much by himself, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he created Curse Academy. He had something to do with creating a team called Gravity, and it was basically this team that he farmed out, and it was actually kind of stacked at the time. It had Haunster, Saint Vicious, Kian, who was pretty good. Cop was an amazing AD carry that he isn't around anymore, and Bunny Fufu was their support.
I know Bunny
he was
Fufu.
also pretty good. Cop was so good. I don't know what bans are anymore, but you didn't let Cop play Caitlyn. If you let Cop play Caitlyn, you lost.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much. It was insane.
Why did I quit League, though? Generally interested since I started watching. It's not that I quit League, I just don't find it fun anymore.
I never found it fun.
Yeah, and I think it was also just because, the people that I played with, when I played League, by the time I started playing League, all of my friends had been playing for at least 2 years at that point. And so, it was just kind of I would say that League as a game is not very beginner-friendly.
No.
New play, you've never played a MOBA before, it's so, the bar for entry is so high that it's just
you're expected to know everything
everything
about the game.
Yeah.
Right off the top.
Yeah, and Zonic, I would also agree that the
toxic.
community is so toxic.
It's so bad.
Saying that it's toxic is just an understatement, honestly.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Unless you're a god, and even when you're a god, people still shit on you all the time.
Yeah. And it's the learning curve is absolutely just ridiculous, and the community is really toxic, and it's really sad for new players, especially because it's like you would think, oh, League would pair you up with similarly level players, but smurfing is a thing. And if you don't know what smurfing is, it's basically...
I smurfed all the time.
It's veteran players making new accounts, so that way they're paired up with new players, so that way they can just smash on them.
Or they can just find faster queue times.
Or they can just find faster queues, yeah.
Because Challenger queue and Master queue is like half-hour wait times, which is not worth the effort.
Yeah.
I will say that. Like, I get why they do it. It's just stupid.
Yeah, I've also run into problems with Riot as a company itself as of late. In recent experiences, there are some things that Riot does as a company that I'm not particularly, like, the biggest fan of.
What are they doing?
It's nothing like shady businesses or anything like that. It's just, like, how they handle stuff. Like, one of the things that I don't like is their report system. I fucking hate it because it's worthless.
Oh.
Like, it's complete trash.
Otto got banned recently.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah,
not permanent. He got like a suspension.
Oh, one of my friends actually, one of my close friends, he actually got permabanned.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, not really.
I mean, I consider it to be pretty awesome.
I mean, like, it's awesome, and I'm not gonna defend him because he definitely deserved it, but at the same time, it's how he got permabanned is really shitty. Because the way that he got permabanned was, he was stuck in a game with 3 trolls, and all 3 of them reported him. And then Riot's report claim system is basically like, you're guilty until proven innocent. And so, like, I guess from what my friend has told me in his experience when he was getting permabanned, was that he got reported by these 3 people because he was essentially held hostage, and they completely trolled, but they reported him at the end of it. And then, Riot sent in a message saying, showcasing, like, in, like, the chat logs, like, the all chat logs, like, these are all the things that you said, which weren't great things, to be fair. But they were all in response to the equally, if not worse, things that the other people were saying.
They only care about the report. They don't care about the other side. They don't care about
the they don't care about the context.
No. Yeah, context does not exist for them.
Yeah. And so then Riot just permabanned him and he had to make a new account.
Yeah.
Because he still wanted to play. Yeah. And so it's just like the way that Riot treats reports and the way that Riot does matchmaking, all that stuff, it's just not constructive.
No.
And I will also say that I'm also just, this is more like a personal thing, but it's just like, I feel like Riot definitely plays favorites. And I mean, that makes sense. They're a business, they're a company. You follow where the money goes. That makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is upsetting to feel that, like, if there's a champion that you love to play, sometimes it just doesn't get the attention that you feel like it deserves. Like,
dude, Zach for like a lot of seasons.
Yeah, Zach. Alawi is one of my favorite champions. She just got a new skin like not too long ago, so now she has 4 skins. But like, there are some champions though that like only have. They still only have 2 skins, but they've been released for they've been out for like years.
Right.
And it's just like it's just unfortunate, really. It's just kind of sad, in how they do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then,
damn,
that
great sword. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm also just like not a fan of, just like. I guess, like, again, this is as of late. I'm just not a fan of, like, how them designing stuff. Like, the thing that really pissed me off was Seraphine, one of the new champions. One of the new champions. I don't know if you know what Seraphine does.
No.
Okay. Do you know what Sona does?
That's not the Sona clone, right?
It is the Sona clone.
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna say, do you know what Sona does? Because it's almost the exact same thing.
Yeah,
like, here,
we talked about her.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna reiterate this because I'm gonna read off the descriptions for each ability, okay? And I want.
I think you did this on the podcast before.
I think I'm pretty sure I did.
Almost exactly the same thing.
Yeah. So her passive is Stage Presence. Every 3rd basic spell will cast twice from Seraphine. Additionally, casting spells near allies grant her bonus magic damage and range on her next basic attack. let me actually pull up Sona's abilities, and
every third ability. Your next basic attack does.
It does augmented something.
Yeah, it's augmented based on the third ability that you used. So, like, if you used her Q, it does.
After 3
a
spell
bigger
casts,
damage.
the next attack will deal bonus magic damage in addition to an additional effect based on what song is last activated.
Yeah.
The Q for Seraphine. Okay, this is a bad description. It just says deals damage in an area, which is just stupid. That's a stupid description. The W shields and hastens nearby allies. If she is already shielded, will heal nearby allies as well. Both Sona's W and E shield/heal and give bonus movement speed respectively. And then the ult, Seraphine deals damage and charms enemies hit, refreshing the range with every allied or enemy champion hit. Sona plays her ultimate chord, stunning enemy champions and forcing them to dance and dealing magic damage to them. Each rank reduces the base cooldown of Sona's basic abilities. Like, it's not word for word a clone, but like,
yeah, it's very close. Especially maybe it might not sound like it, but having played both, you're like, yeah.
If you've ever played League, you're just like, these are literally the same thing. It's
right.
It's like that meme. Corporate wants you to see the difference between these two pictures. They're the same picture.
They're the same picture.
Like, absolutely. And it's just, I don't know, like, it's just, like, the fact that this happened, I don't know why it makes me so mad. I think it's just because I like to hold Riot in a fairly high regard of, like, you know, they know what they're doing. They care about their player base for the most part. But this was just kind of one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, Riot definitely doesn't care. They're just a company to me. And that's just sad in my eyes. I'm just
Do you have a fire weapon?
Yes.
Also, you need to ready up.
Oh, I'm eating.
Okay. Well, you should get a fire weapon. We're going to go kill a Kezu.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but so, yeah, I'm not...
It'll probably die very fast.
And, like, I love League of Legends. I really do. I've been playing League of Legends for... God, how long I've been playing League of Legends for. I've been playing League of Legends for, I want to say, on and off for 4-5 years, maybe.
I started in 2012.
I started in 2012. I didn't get really into it until, I want to say, 2014, 2015.
Damn.
And then I've just kind of casually played with friends. And then I just kind of fully stopped playing. But I still watch pro. I still watch pro games.
Dude, I used to like have pro game day. Like I watched it like I now watch baseball. Like I would have like go get food. I would hang out with all my friends.
That sounds like so much fun.
Dude, it was so cool. And I wish I could do that again. But one, I don't know the game anymore. I don't know almost any of the players, and League sucks.
Yeah, dude, it's hard. Like like old League makes sense. New League,
it does.
I wouldn't say that it's more complicated, but it definitely is more in depth. Like as a new player,
honestly wish
playing League of Legends is so difficult.
I wish that there was like because WoW has like vanilla WoW, or sorry, WoW Classic. I honestly wish that they would do a thing where you could just go back to different patches and use crazy old broken like you could only use the rosters from the time, but you could use crazy old broken warmogs and do like triple warmogs on Katarina. Like I missed that shit so much because that was the only time like I was like version 3.0. It was around the time that Zach and Elise is the spider lady. Yeah. So that season was the last season. I'm like, oh my God, this is like the coolest season.
Sounds like a nightmare compared to like the Final Fantasy 14 community. Yeah, I mean,
14 community is pretty.
The 14
great.
community is pretty great. I'll be honest.
For the most part.
Like obviously, no community is great, but like I can count on one hand all the negative experiences I've had in the Final Fantasy 14 community. Like
Destiny
legitimately.
community is pretty shit.
Destiny community is actually trash. the Destiny community, I mean, like, it's not bad per se. If I had to describe the Destiny community, I would just say sweaty.
Yeah,
Like, that's just what the Destiny community to me is. Like, they're just sweaty. Like,
how is this dude still on the fucking thing?
I think he got on when they got here. It's like it was mountable right when they got here.
No. He wrote it all the way in here.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he's got a perk. Because I think there's a dongle that extends writing time.
Oh, okay.
But it's just like, yeah, the Destiny community, because like all the people that I've played, that I've raided with in Pugs for Destiny, like a lot of the times it's like people care about gun perks and like specific ones, which again, there's nothing wrong with that, you know. If it's I understand there's a meta and like that's, you know, that's cool, whatever. But like I have a problem with people who are like dismissive about certain guns that are just kind of like, they're kind of like, oh, this gun has, I don't even know, this gun has Vorpal weapon, therefore it's immediately trash.
And you use it, therefore you are trash.
Yeah, and you use it, and therefore you're trash. I was like, well, no, I just like using Vorpal weapon because in the way that I do stuff is kind of how it works.
That worked.
I watched like 20, and League of Legends does not explain anything. You just have to know. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, League is again, it's
Dude,
not.
I got lost between
friendly.
seasons.
Yeah, it's it's very not new player friendly. Like this season for League, they introduced a brand new shop to like help you kind of figure out how to buy items, which is good because I'm like, I'll admit I never knew how to really buy items in the old shop. But even still, it's still complicated. Like, you still have to, like, you still have people who do builds and whatnot, and obviously different builds require different items, and, you know, the shop isn't going to recommend those things to you. Like, you just kind of have to know what to do. And then, like, I'll admit that I didn't know how to farm, like, actually, like, farm minions until maybe after playing the game for 2 years, is when I finally understood kind of how to farm effectively.
Are you serious?
Well, because I'd always played support. All my friends knew how to lane, and because they'd been playing longer than I have, they were just like, well, you can just play support because that's the easiest role to do.
I mean, I still did it.
Yeah,
I still farmed when I was support, but I also played like Sona and Braum, so I was used to it. Yeah, and I also played AD carry.
Yeah, so did I. But the only times I ever farmed as a support was if I had like Relic Shield or something like that, with an item that was like, oh, you need to execute minions to help get gold.
And it was executed, so it was a lot easier.
Yeah, and so it was a lot easier. So like I didn't know like it took me forever to figure out how to last hit, how to like freeze wave. I still don't even know how to freeze wave effectively. But like all those sort of techniques, I didn't know how to do until good chunk.
In all honesty, freezing wave is a thing that like there's a certain point where people like Elo, where people are like, yeah, I'm actually gonna start freezing wave. It's not master and challenger. It's not, because they're all just so crazy above the game at that point that they don't have to use stuff like that. But like plat, diamond, and like high gold, you need to know those things, but you don't actually need to know those things because most people aren't even in those tiers.
Yeah.
Because Wood Division exists now, right?
No, I don't think so.
Iron
is lowest.
Yeah, that's Wood Division.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, but so
I love the characters of League. I
love the characters. I love the lore. Like there was a time where I knew every piece of lore about every character. So like if you asked me like the background for a character, I could tell you without even blinking an eye.
Dude, the Freljord event, you probably weren't even playing during this time, because that was where the frickin' ARAM effectively came from. That was pretty much when we got ARAMs for the first time. Was ow, fucking really? Thanks, dog. Fuck. was the Freljord event, which was between Sejuani, Ashe, and
Lissandra.
Lissandra, yeah.
I love Lissandra. Was one of my favorite characters.
Lissandra is one of my favorite characters, but holy shit, I am not good with her.
You know what? You know when I definitely played a little bit when Lissandra came out, but I would say I officially started playing when Echo came out.
Oh, when dude, I hated Echo.
I love Echo.
He's great.
Echo's so cool.
Mechanically, he's really cool.
He's super fun, yeah.
God, like
playing against him is kind of a nightmare.
User friendly.
Yeah.
And he's just very high concept. Like he's high risk, kind of low reward. Yeah. Like there's almost never a time where he does like that he does so good that it's worth it.
Yeah.
He's not a high damage dude.
The thing is you have to be
he's
really
just an outplay
good
machine.
at playing Echo. If you're good at playing Echo, then there's no problem. But if you're not good with him, it's just like you're not gonna do well, champ.
How is this thing not dead yet? We have 4 dudes.
I think that's why. Ow.
And he takes out 3/4 of my health every time.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, League. I'm just kind of like I love watching it, but man, playing it is just like nah. There are so many other things that I'd rather do with my time.
I hated the introduction of new seasons because that meant that I was gonna have to relearn the game pretty much from scratch.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel with patches. That's kind of how I feel with patches. It's just like I like that the game is constantly improving, but I also hate the fact that I hate that there's a meta to the game and that playing your favorite champions isn't worth it because they're not good anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point of playing a game that I really like and playing a character that I really like if I'm gonna be constantly losing in that game?
Yeah. And like you said, if they don't get updated for 3 years, then you're like, well, shit.
Yeah, it's if they don't get updated, and it's just okay, well, that kind of sucks.
I guess I just won't play this person anymore. And that's kind of how it was for Ashe for me for a long time. It was well, I guess I have to learn how to play other 80 carries because Ashe sucks right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and then again with a very toxic community. It's just kind of okay, I mean, I'm just gonna get flamed. I'll just not do this.
Right.
There's so many other things that I'd rather do with my time than play League of Legends, and I'm just yeah, nah, not about it, Chief. Yeah. I want to say nice things about League, but I really don't have anything nice to say about League.
There's nothing nice to say about League.
Here. I got something that I'll say nice about League. They introduced. I want to say this was last season, but they introduced a mode called Clash, and it was basically amateur. It was amateur League of Legends games, which was really really cool. The problem with that though is that one of the requirements to be eligible to play was you had to have done all your placement games for ranked. So that meant you had to play 10 ranked League of Legends games before you were allowed to play Clash. And I'm why? I don't even want to play Clash. Why would... It's basically I'm forced to play PvP in Destiny just to play the thing that I want to play. And I'm why the fuck would I want to do this? This is a literally awful idea.
So what is Clash?
Clash was basically amateur. It was amateur League of Legends. Okay. Yeah, it was basically amateur League of Legends where you made a team. You were given when you were put into a tournament bracket, and then
now you have to pay for it, right? Because you've talked about that.
No, you can pay for the way that Clash works. At least how my experience with it was. You get your team together, all right? You've all done your 10 placement games. You get your team together, and then you're put into a bracket. And when you're put into the bracket to enter the tournament, you use a tournament ticket, and that will basically kind of determine what prizes you get once the bracket is done, or once you're done playing, basically for the tournament. And you can get free ones that you can buy with like in-game currency that you get from loot and whatever from completing quests, or you can buy it with real money and you get kind of better prizes and that kind of stuff. It's basically like a premium ticket, basically.
Yeah.
But so the way that the Clash operated was you'd have your team together, and then you would be put into your bracket, and then you would be given, I want to say it was like 5, maybe 3 minutes, and you could basically scope out the other team. So you could see like their last, like the last 5 champions they played, their win percentages for like the champions that they have the highest mastery for. You can see the list of champions that they played and what lane they played in and all that stuff, and like, you can even see their rank and stuff like that. Then it goes into a pick and ban phase, which is similar to how the pro games go, where you have one team ban.
Wait, do they not have that in regular ranked anymore? Are bans not a thing?
No, they are, but they're structured differently. In ranked games and in like draft games in League, everyone bans at the same time, whereas in pro games it's one team bans a champion, then the other team picks their 2 champions, and then the other person. Oh wait, no.
Oh right, because you can get double bans.
It's 1 ban, 2 ban, then 2 ban again, and then 1 last ban for the other team. They alternate back and forth between 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's how it used to be.
Yeah, now regular ranked games, they just do it all at the same time. You just ban a champion and then you're done.
God, that's
but
dumb.
Clash wants to structure it more at a professional level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be that used to be how it was.
Yeah,
you would do one and
they changed that because I think they wanted games to take less time. They wanted games to go faster.
Yeah, well, that's still stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's dumb because I actually kind of prefer longer games just because of I feel like with okay. This is another thing I don't like about League of Legends is the fact that League, it's at least the way the game is structured now, if you don't do well right at the beginning of the game, you're fucked. You're absolutely screwed. Like it's FF at 20, go to next game. Damn. And it's the mindset that people have with
you need to be able to
now.
Forfeit to 420.
You can, but it has to be unanimous. You can forfeit at 15,
which is dumb.
But it has to be unanimous.
Yeah, you should be able to forfeit at 10. And games should not be.
Really, the problem is that there's so many ways to abuse the system, and Riot just doesn't do anything about it. Either they choose to ignore it, or they just are ignorant of it.
Yeah.
Like I've been in. There are multiple times where I've been held hostage in a game of League of Legends.
Yeah,
simply because of I can't leave. Like we can't forfeit because some people just don't want to leave, or they're like, "Oh no, I want to practice, bro." And I'm just like, "Cool,
you
go to
practice
school.
Sucking?
Do something else with your time."
Cool. You're not helping yourself. Well, I need to learn how to come from behind. You're not gonna do that.
You're not gonna do that. But that's the problem with League how it works now is that like you have to if you're basically not in the lead at the beginning of the game, you've already lost. I find that it's just such an annoying kind of mindset to have, especially in a team-based game like League of Legends. Because I mean I've had awesome victories from coming from behind. But you have people who are just like, and like that's just the dynamic of the game. It's like you gotta have an early lead. Any team comp that has you do late game, it's not gonna fly. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work. I mean, you have to hit that early game hard, or else you're absolutely screwed. And I'm like, I mean, you don't have to, but that's how League works now. And again, I can respect that it's a living, breathing, updating game. But at the same time, if you're going to update your mechanics this drastically, and change your meta and have it shift this frequently, it's just not good game design. It just strictly isn't.
Right. So irritating.
Yeah, but
are we gonna get carried into rank 5? Because that would be hilarious.
Probably. But so moving on from League, let's talk about briefly a game that we both enjoy, and that's Monster Hunter Rise. Again, not sponsored, but we've been playing.
Capcom, sponsor us. I love all your games.
Capcom, sponsor me. I love Monster Hunter.
I like most of your games. I wish you would do better with
argument.
Street Fighter. Bring back Street Fighter 3.
But yeah, so we've been playing Monster Hunter Rise. Both of us have been playing for, what, a week now?
I'm at 26 hours now.
I don't know how long I'm at right now, actually.
Probably more than I am.
Probably more than that, yeah.
Although I am wildly inefficient, so you might be farther than I am, but I might have way less, items than you while having a lot more time.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not smart about utilizing my time.
But so far I'm enjoying my time in Monster Hunter Rise. I find it a lot easier than World by like leaps and bounds.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah. There are a lot of things that World had that I really liked.
Love World.
But there are things in Rise that I'm just like, man, I can't believe World didn't have this.
Right.
And like there are such small things that I guess even previous Monster Hunter games apparently had, and I'm like, I can't believe World just didn't put this in.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I have come to realize is like World added a lot of stuff that was really cool, but it also omitted a lot of stuff that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and so far playing Rise compared to World, I would say that they are very different games. And it's like kind of awkward that World was my first Monster Hunter game because of the fact that they're so different. And that I guess from what I've heard from veteran Monster Hunter players, apparently Rise is very similar to like Generations Ultimate, which apparently is also lauded as like one of the best Monster Hunter games ever.
Yeah. Which is why we should play it.
Which is why we've been told to play it. But but like World is just so drastically different that like again, like there's just so many things that in Rise that I'm like, oh, I should need to do this, I need to do this, or I should do this because I was taught in World. But in reality, it is actually not true at all, and World taught me wrong. And like the biggest example is apparently capturing monsters doesn't net you as much materials, in which in World, capturing monsters was actually like the go-to form because you get more stuff out of it. But I guess in Rise and in previous Monster Hunter games, you actually get less materials because of you're ending the fight earlier. So it's like, why would you get rewarded for ending the fight earlier? Which is a valid argument. That makes sense, you know.
It takes no skill. Like it takes no extra amount of skill to capture something. Like, yeah, you have to craft them, but it's literally like the difference is you're just not killing it. You are just ending it quicker. There's a certain point where they will start to get tired out, and once they're tired, you put a trap under them, you make them fall asleep. There's no extra effort. It's not like you have to be smart about your capturing. It's the easiest thing in the world. You get their attention, they walk into a thing. It's not like an added challenge in any way. So yeah, I totally get it, and it's so weird. It's so weird that World emphasized that so much. You gotta capture everything. That's how you get all the rewards at the best percentages.
Yeah.
The only thing that you have a better percentage on a capture is the rare stuff, like the really rare stuff. And it's like,
and granted, there are like some benefits to capturing because there are some materials that you have a higher chance of getting if you capture a monster rather than killing it.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. That's totally fair. That's fair enough. But yeah, I like apparently killing a monster is theoretically more profitable than capturing it, which was such a weird concept to me.
Yeah.
when I heard about it. You guys are making me not want to play League of Legends anymore, but that's all true. Oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I mean, like again, I played League for at least 4 years of my life.
Yeah,
like,
same. I think 4 years.
Yeah, on a
2012 to
fairly like serious casual level, I played League for a good chunk of time. And I won't say that I hated every minute of it. I would say that maybe like 60% of the time that I spent in League, I hated it. But the other 40%,
like
I had a great time.
70-30.
I have fairly fond memories. A few fond memories of playing League of Legends and stuff like that. It's more
I got
fun
a
if you have
bird
people to play
wyvern
with.
gem. Nice.
Yeah, like I would say that it's if you have people to play with.
Wait, I got a
it's
jewel?
Fun, but
Holy shit.
like after that, it's kind of like. I like watching it more.
I can definitely be down to watch some League, even if I don't know what all of the items are, because to a certain point, items are kind of superfluous to the gameplay outside of items doing having a specific mechanic tied to them. Like, at least when I was playing, what was the one that stops you? Like, you're just frozen?
Sonya's Hourglass.
Yeah, Sonya's. Or like, not Bloodthirster.
They have another item now. That,
Bork.
It's called
Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah. They have another item called Stopwatch, and it's literally a one-time use Sonya's Hourglass.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And it's, like, though outside of those, every item is pretty much superfluous. They just buff your abilities, so you don't need to know much about those while watching, which is really cool. And you learn pretty quick through, obvious contextual clues of, hey, that's what that's doing, so I understand that was an item and not an ability. Watching is so much more friendly, and I like it. I wish that I knew the people more, because the other big part about watching League of Legends was cheering on players and teams that I really liked, and I know next to nobody anymore, which is what we went over.
Yeah.
Next to no one. I miss Cloud9. In all honesty, if I could go back and just watch old Cloud9 games, and I have wanted to do this, I would be so happy. That would be the coolest thing in the world for me.
Yeah, I still keep up a little bit. I don't really keep up with players necessarily. I more so just keep up with teams for the most part. And so I mean, there are a handful of teams that I really, really enjoy. Granted, those are because of certain players that maybe have moved on to different teams and whatnot. But even still, like a lot of the teams that I follow, specifically in North America, because that's kind of the only league that I watch. But there are a decent chunk of teams that I'm like, it's kind of like that dynamic that they have, or like the style that they have, that I'm like, yeah, I'm all about like how they operate and how they do stuff. And it's still fun to watch, at least for the most part. And I mean, it definitely helps that like I know what's happening for the most part. Like I know like, oh, like if they're going for an objective or something like that, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what they're doing. I know how that works. I know how that operates. But even still, like really what got me into playing League more was just watching the games. When I didn't know what to do about anything. Like when I had no information about how like the games worked or how mechanics worked, I found that watching Pro League was more helpful than playing any of the games or playing a game.
Oh, right. Totally. 100%.
Because it's like it allowed me to actually see, oh, why are they doing this, or like what's the reasoning behind buying this item or doing that sort of thing, rather than wasting my time and trying to experiment of like, okay, do I buy this item because I've been told to?
Like what's a good opportunity to do this? What should I be looking for? It definitely gives you a lot of it gives you the reasons behind why you do stuff, and then it's up to you to put it into practical application. Yeah. Because, dude, experiment, like, I knew a lot of people who would just play game upon game upon game of, experimenting with different builds, and I'm like, that just sounds awful.
Yeah.
Like, because 90% of your time is effectively just wasted, because you're not actually really doing anything. You're just like, let's see if this works. You know, you're essentially hurting yourself, not as much your team, just by wasting your time doing that.
And then even then you're there are so many factors when you're trying to experiment with like a new build, because it's like,
right.
You know,
who are you up against in your lane?
Yeah. How are other people's lanes doing? Is your jungler coming to help you? Do you need your jungler to come and help you?
Yeah.
You know, all the while they're also experimenting with stuff as well, and it's definitely hard when you don't have people to play with. Like, I will say that it's definitely really difficult when you don't have like a group of people to play with, compared to, you know, like other games like Monster Hunter. Like, you can play Monster Hunter by yourself and be like, okay, like I understand how things work. I know what I'm kind of doing for the most part. But League, it's like you're so dependent on other people. And you're so dependent on other people doing things correctly that it does make it really difficult to like get anything done.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes you'll just have really good games and then really bad games right after.
Yeah. Or sometimes you'll just always have really bad games because the people that you're playing with are troll as fuck. I wouldn't know anything about that at all.
I was gonna say that sounds pretty personal.
That's not good. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is making me reminisce for League of Legends that doesn't exist anymore. Uh-huh. And that's it. I
will admit that
I don't miss League of Legends at all.
Yeah, watching Pro League used to me like when I watch Pro League, I always am just like, oh man, now this really makes me want to play League of Legends now. Yeah, I don't have that feeling anymore.
No.
I no longer kind of have that feeling of like, oh man, you know what I could do? I could sit down and play a game of League of Legends. I don't have that sort of hankering nowadays when I watch Pro League. I'm just like, I watch Pro League and I'm like, man, that was cool. All right, anyways.
Let's go
what else is going on?
Literally anything else. I think I didn't realize that he was still writing the Arzuros, and I might have fucked up his thing.
Rip.
Because I was the one who flash flight it.
Ah.
I assumed that he was already done.
Yeah.
Oh well.
While we're finishing up this hunt, there are something else that I also briefed. Since we're on the topic of video games and what is wrong with video games and the runs that we play, let's talk Destiny real quick. Let's talk Destiny 2 real quick.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I'm so glad I don't have to play it for 34 days.
See, okay. I also am glad that I don't have to play it for 34 days. That sounds worse than it actually is.
Yeah. I really enjoyed my time this season.
Yeah,
I'm glad it's over.
The Season of the Chosen, it came out. I had a blast with it. I will freely admit, I absolutely loved playing it. There really wasn't like a moment. Yeah, no, he knocked me down and then he stabbed me with his beak. But there was I loved the pacing for Destiny 2. I actually loved like the story for it. It actually made me care about characters, which was really awesome. I will admit, like, the Battlegrounds activity was really, really fun.
At first,
I mean, it still was. It was kind of just like I appreciated that it was just like a mindless thing to do. That it was just like, hey, here's a bunch of enemies, go kill them. And I'm like, okay,
it's definitely not something I ever want to do again.
Yeah.
I'll say that
it was fun for this season, and then I'm like, okay, what else do we got? Like, let's go on to the next thing.
Sure.
But it wasn't like I never really had a point where I was like, what is it? There was never a point where I was like super bored, or like there was never a point where it's like, hey, do a battleground, and I was like, ugh, fine. You know, like in comparison to like go do strikes or go do Crucible. You know, I wouldn't like complain about it. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll go do that. You know, that'll be like, that's like a 10-15 minute thing to do. Like, okay, sure, I can do that. But I never found myself being like, oh my god, I can't believe I have to do this again. Like, oh, this is so tiring and so annoying. And I've never rage quit out of a battleground either. That's another thing.
I don't actually think I have. I think I definitely thought about it one time when I got bailed on by 2 people, and then I was like, I can just finish this.
It's like it's also not a hard activity that's like you do it by yourself. Sure, it'll take longer, but it's very easily doable. It's not like it's next to impossible.
No, it's just irritating.
It's just irritating, yeah. But yeah, the new season that happened, the season that went by, again, I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the characters for the most part. I liked the fact that there was a legitimate plot that I was like, things are actually happening. Wild. And I said this when we were playing, but I will say that I actually don't mind the pacing now that I look back on it. Actually,
no, yeah, the pacing was fine. I liked the week by week thing.
Yeah, the week by week thing was really fine. I actually didn't even mind that it ended partway through. No, I don't even mind the fact that we have 34 days left and we're not gonna play because I'm just like, cool. That gives me more time to go do other stuff, which is
exactly
I think important to have in a game, especially one that like an MMO style game where it's like. You're gonna have lull periods, and you're not gonna want to play all the time, and you kind of need that space to recharge. It's kind of one of the things that I'm a little sad about for Final Fantasy with my raid group, because we're struggling on the last fight for the raid, but the patch is gonna drop next Tuesday, and I was kind of hoping that I would have time before then to kind of just chill out and not have to worry about stuff, but. Unfortunately, I have to, I really want to clear Thursday, before the patch drops. But personally, I don't know if that's gonna happen personally. But again, I was looking forward to a kind of a lull for that, and that's not gonna happen. And I won't say that I have burnout, but I'm definitely kind of tired.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely until this season, I was always getting tired of Destiny.
Yeah.
The gameplay is fine. It's just the activities were awful.
Yeah, they were just boring.
Ow. Don't let me die.
The problem with the season of the hunt was that the activities lasted literally 5 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas Battlegrounds, it's 10, 15 minutes, so it's you have to actually try and do stuff. And it's okay, yeah, I'm down, I'll go do stuff. I too like to shoot my guns and kill aliens. I too enjoy doing this.
There's a way to... I got 3 Inferno sacks, cool. To bypass that thing.
What thing?
The end screen.
Yeah, I noticed that it was, you hit plus and then you press B back twice is how I'm doing it. I don't know how you're doing it.
You said plus and back twice?
Mm-hmm. So you pause your game, you press plus to pause your game, and then you hit back twice.
When the quest complete thing is up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, how are you doing it?
You... use the wire ZL and X and then hang in the air. It just cancels the focusing on the monster aspect.
Oh, okay. All right, good to know.
We still got a shit ton of rewards though.
Yeah, we did. All right. Well, I think on that note, guys, I think that is a good place for us to stop for this episode of the C+ Podcast. Once again, if you missed it, don't worry. I will be uploading this up on to YouTube next week. I'm going to really hope that my stuff recorded. I think so. It's still going. But my footage was probably just going to look a little weird. Because I had a couple times where my computer, stroked out on me. But we'll see about that. And then tomorrow, I'll be back with some more Prague, Final Fantasy 14, as well as some more Persona 5 Strikers. But as always, though, my name is Shogun Shin. That is Hex Ginkgo. This has been the C+ Podcast. And we will see you guys next time.